our Pearson dashboard to the state. One thing that gets lost, super easy to get lost for learning coaches, is those pending approval lessons. You might say, well, I already checked it off in the lesson. My gray check turned to green. Awesome. But guess what? Then it moves on over to the learning coach dashboard. You don't have to do the lesson again. You just have to mark it complete for the second time. And then the magic really happens. It disappears. You don't have to worry about that lesson moving forward. So another last thing on my end, in live class, especially in second grade, what can be really helpful is when they're in live class, you don't necessarily have to be on camera, but sitting next to them, making sure they're able to utilize the tools in Zoom and in class.com appropriately, that they're able to stay focused, making sure they're logging in on time and that they're present. And just that they are in a live class Monday through Friday each week. So, all right, passing it over to Miss Bunnell.
All right, so I'm going to take this one over. This is escalation. It is not the most fun topic to talk about, but it is very important. We are going to talk about escalation. If you are returning, it is the same process as it has been in the past, but you'll notice a few small changes. But escalation, what it does is that it ensures that students are meeting our expectations, that they're getting the most out of their learning and participating in our program. So to make sure that students stay on track, they need to make sure they're completing those lessons, participating and turning them in, making sure those check marks turn green, and also attending those live classes with their homeroom teachers. And then finally, that the learning coaches are marking attendance. So those are the ways, if you do those things, you will stay out of escalation, you'll prevent it altogether. And then these symbols are what you'll see on your homepage. So you'll see, again, like I said, if you're returning, these symbols look a little different, but they stand for the same thing. So instead of alarm and approaching alarm, we have on track. And this is where we want everybody to be all year long. This green star on your homepage. You might move to slightly off track if you're not doing all of those lessons or not coming to live lesson or forgetting that attendance. And then if you fall even further off track, you'll have the red mark here. If you have any questions or something has come up for your family, please communicate with your homeroom teacher, because we want to be there to support you, getting you back on track and making sure you don't have any questions that we can help you with. So that's one way you can always reach out to us. And I want to talk quickly about slightly off track and off track, because it does happen. Things come up in our year and you might fall into those categories. So when that happens, our data is showing us that you have dropped below our school standards. Maybe you forgot attendance for a few days. You have several overdue lessons, and once those start to pile up, it's really hard to get back on track. Or maybe your student hasn't attended live class during the week for a couple weeks. We as teachers do not control you falling into escalation. It is done by the Pearson Online Classroom calculation and metrics, but we do monitor it, and we will reach out if we start to notice any trends. And also you can always communicate with us if you need any help getting back on track. So with that, I'm going to send it on over to Miss Bella to talk about attendance.
Awesome. Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Miss Bella, and I'm going to be talking to you guys about attendance and how you are going to mark attendance this year. So who marks daily attendance? That is you, learning coaches. You're going to mark attendance for every school day. So Monday through Friday. You will not mark attendance on holidays or weekends. A tip for you would be to set a reminder every day at the same time so you don't forget and you're logging attendance daily. You can find the marking attendance page that looks like this. It will be a link on your homepage under record attendance. And when you're marking attendance, you will either mark a P for present or an N for not present. And now we'll go into some examples of when you would mark a P or an N. All right, so marking a P signifies something academic was completed that day. So for example, if they're completing their online lessons, if they're completing their online assessments, or they attended their live class, you can put a P for present. If for some reason they're not online, but you guys are offline, you're reading together, you had an educational field trip, whether that's school hosted or family hosted, you did some math practice, or your student spoke to the teacher, you are able to mark P for attendance that day. When you are marking an N, that is signifying that something academic was not completed that day. So for example, you are not working on any online lessons, no completed assessments were done, they did not attend live class, or offline, you guys were not reading together, there's no educational field trip, no math practice, or student did not speak to the teacher. So in all of those cases, you would mark an N for not present. I'm also going to talk a little bit more about our live class participation expectations. So we really love when our students are on time, your teachers are prepared and ready for you to be in class. So just make sure you are on time with your camera on. We really do love seeing your faces and seeing that you are participating and engaged in our lesson. We always want to make sure that you are sitting in an efficient learning space. So please, no distractions. If you had headphones, those really help. And we just want to make sure you're ready to learn and participate daily. And we highly encourage that you attend daily math live class and also attend those ELA live class sessions 3 times a week. And now I'm going to pass it back to Mrs. Gonzalez.
Thank you so much. Okay, new this year, we're so excited. We are going to be hosting daily math instruction. So this means that your child gets to go to their homeroom teacher or the math specialist, and you know who you are if you have your math teacher separated from your homeroom teacher, and you're going to work on your math lesson with your teacher this year. So we heard from a lot of families that math does take quite a bit of time in your schedule. And so we would like to be able to do that for you and with your child. So have your child come to their math live class with their homeroom teacher, and we're going to be concentrating on the concepts for that day. So we're actually going to be going through that daily lesson with your child. So that is definitely new this year. So have them log in, have them work in those concepts on that lesson that day. And then at the end of that half an hour to 45 minutes, your teacher is going to allow then your child to complete whatever happens to be at the end of that lesson. So probably a quick check, perhaps a quiz or a test. They're going to have time then afterwards to be able to work on that. So what this means for you as a learning coach this year is that if they come to the teacher, they do the lesson together, they learn the concepts, when it's time then for them to go do the quick check, you do not have to go through every single page of the lesson. So for those of you who were here last year, parents sit obviously with your child. You click over to the next page, you click on the videos, you make sure you're understanding the concepts, you're maybe doing a couple examples on your paper. You wouldn't have to do that this year, okay? Because they're going to do that with us teachers. You're just going to click all the way to the end. And you're going to go ahead and have them take that quick check, and then you can mark it with a green check mark. So we're hoping that this is going to be a really great change for you guys at home, and a really great change for the kids as well as they're learning those concepts. If for some reason your child cannot make it to math live class, just know that you'll have to sit with them that day, and you will have to go through each one of those pages, make sure that they're understanding that concept before they take the quiz or the assessment at the end. But don't worry, kids. We're going to make it fun. It's going to be very interactive. We're going to be collaborating. So we really want to make sure that it's, time well spent for everybody, and that this will work out for you guys. So each homeroom teacher may be a bit different. Hopefully you've already talked to your homeroom teacher, and they may have already told you that you might need to bring a math notebook or some scratch paper, manipulatives. Each teacher is just a bit different, so make sure that you reach out to your teacher if you are not sure of that. So that is definitely new this year. Also, we don't want to forget about ELA, or English Language Arts. This is everything from speaking and listening skills, which might be show and tell or share time, up to writing, and of course, reading. So this is also going to be 3 times a week with your homeroom teacher. Again, it's highly recommended that your child comes because a lot of times we will build on the last lesson, especially when we're working with writing. We're going to be able to want to work with your child continuously. So please try to make it as much as possible. Again, they're going to be fun and interactive. There might be a few things that your homeroom teacher is asking you to have as well. But this is going to be also a really great and fun time. So I think that's it as far as our live classes. So over to We Care for you, Marcy.
All right, I'm back. So We Care. So We Care is very exciting this year. You're going to see, if you want to go ahead to the next slide, you're going to see that one of these things you might remember if you were here last year, but we are doing even more. So the We Care Committee provides fun and effective social emotional resources and lessons to all students. So down at the bottom here, there is a link to our We Care website, and all of the things that are mentioned here can be found there. So one of the things is that every month has a social emotional theme. So there's you can test your learning with a fun themed activity that you will find there on that website. We'll also have the fun dress up days every month, which some of us did last year. It's a lot of fun. You can dress up for a live lesson. Also, this is the thing that some of you might remember is that we had a monthly whole school social emotional live class. It was a lot of fun. And so the schedule for that can be found on this We Care website as well. It's one Thursday a month at 4 p.m. and it says bring your drawing supplies. So that probably means you're going to have some fun drawing in that class. And there's also lots of resources on this website to practice social emotional awareness at home as a family. So it's a great resource. We'll put this link in the chat. And then the teachers will also be sharing this PowerPoint with you as well. So you'll have it there, but we'll put the link in the chat for you. All right, I'm going to pass it back to Miss Frampton.
Thanks, Marcy. I'm pretty excited. This may be my new favorite thing. If you were here last year, you hadn't heard of it because neither did I until we got here, but it's the Learner Journey Data View. So you may be asking, Learner Journey Data View, haven't heard of it. What is it? Well, it's information that you give us as teachers about your child. Who fills it out? It would be you, the learning coach. Where can you find it? Good question. Right now, it is on your to-do list. So when you pull up your homepage, it should be right on your to-do list. Once you complete it, you can still find it and access it under your data views. So it's always visible to you. And the only person who else can see it is your teacher. So it's something that you can use to communicate between yourself and the teacher about your child. So it's a really helpful tool. It's been so much fun before we get to meet all your kids in our live class session to get a little snapshot about them, which is really helpful for everybody. So just a quick review. This is kind of some screenshots of where you can find it, what it'll look like. So you're going to look under your to-do list or your data views. You can find it in both places. Then when you click on that, it's going to open up to a learner interest tab. A lot of this information already auto-populates from Pearson. But what's really cool in this section is you can add a picture, which is a lot of fun because then we can put a face with a name. And then you will have some of these questions to answer, and some of them are drop-down menus, some of them are short answer, but it really gives you the opportunity to tell us a little bit about your child and how we can support you throughout the school year and help your child be successful. So one added bonus, which is my favorite, and it's optional, but you can add that picture to the learner interest section. So be on the lookout, learner journey data view. If you can have that completed before the first day of school, I know your teachers would really appreciate it. So now over to you, Miss Bennell.
Thank you, Denise. All right, everybody, I'm now going to talk about resources and information. And in a moment, somebody will put in this Padlet or message boards link for you all. And it's just wonderful information that second grade parents need for the entire school year. It has lots of great information that will be up to date as we go on throughout the school year, and just have great information for you there throughout the school year. So it has your own homeroom teachers information if they have something specific that they want to share to their homeroom students. It has just general school information. It has classroom resources. We have PE information and calendars and dates for you to remember and to utilize. We know that those portfolios, the research papers, the science experiments, that can get a little bit overwhelming. So we have a lot of portfolio guidance in this section. We have a plethora of math and ELA resources for you to look at throughout the year. And then we have some more iReady examples and support also. And then we have another section that supports our emotional and social learning. So you're always going to have access to all of these things. And I know we're just ending summer and getting ready for the school year, but we will also have summer resources for your students to practice and get ready for third grade. So this, I would definitely bookmark, save this link that we are going to send out to you, and just have that at your fingertips and your resources to use throughout the school year. So definitely save that. And then I'm also part of a Learning Coach mentor team. So I'm lucky enough to support all of you learning coaches throughout the year. So we have 3 teachers that support our elementary team. We have Miss Shannon Little. She focuses on K-1-2 students. Me, Miss Bunnell, I support 2nd and 3rd. And then Miss Serpa, she supports the 4th and 5th grade learning coaches. So we have an elementary team that works with specifically our learning coaches. And if you have a middle school group, that you would go to the homeroom teachers if you have specific questions about middle school. If you have any high school students, we also have learning coaches in high school that will be able to help you out with all those wonderful high school questions. We do have a Learning Coach Mentor website that has a plethora of videos and documents and resources for you to utilize throughout the school year as well. So I would recommend saving that link and bookmarking it so you have access to all that information throughout the year. And why do we support our learning coaches? Because you need help sometimes, and we want to help you. We want to be another support system along with the wonderful homeroom teachers that you are already working with. So if you have questions that you just can't remember how to mark attendance, we have a video and a step-by-step instruction for that. Did you forget how to submit portfolios, or you just can't figure it out or remember how to do it? We have videos and directions for that too. Lessons pending approval. A lot of parents think it's teachers that have to complete that, but it's actually our learning coaches that mark that off each day. If you need help with just how do I work through all these lessons and I have multiple kids, we would love to just discuss ideas and support you through that daily process. Are you missing materials, or your computer, something's going on with it? We have an excellent tech support team that would love to help you with computer issues, and we have some tips and tricks as well. If you're just trying to figure out how do I set up my day, I can't figure it out, every day seems to be different and new, we would love to chat with you about routines as well. And then just figuring out the Pearson online classroom. Maybe it's just not making sense to you, but we just want to tell you we're here for your support, and would love to answer any of your questions. We have a You Can Book Me link down below that you can book directly onto our calendars. We have all of your homeroom teachers have our information as well if you need to reach out to them to ask for our information throughout the school year. But we're an excellent source, and we are happy to help you. So next, I'm going to pass it to Beth for reminders.
Excellent. Thank you, Miss Bunnell. Appreciate it. All right, we're kind of at the end here. We're just going to sum it up with some reminders. Again, we are going to send the slide or these slides out to you. So you'll have a chance to go through them on your own time if you need to. But you can see here, if you haven't connected with your homeroom teacher for a welcome call or a welcome Zoom yet, please do that. It's important for us that we get a chance to see them before Tuesday, before that first day of school, because we want to make sure they feel comfortable with us and that they're ready to learn. We realize that it's a 4-day weekend, and so if you didn't get a chance to by now, definitely just reach out to them through webmail, and hopefully you guys can connect early on Tuesday. Complete that learner journey data view that Ms. Frampton talked about. That's very helpful. We would love to have that completed before Tuesday. Complete the learning coach and student orientations. Don't forget to download class. Maybe just wait until Saturday or Sunday to do that. Or you can wake up early on Tuesday and do that as well. It does take some time every now and then to upload things. So definitely want to do that before your live class begins. Live class will begin on Tuesday, September 5th. Each teacher is just a little bit different on their time. So you want to make sure you have that on your calendar. You will also begin marking attendance this Tuesday coming up. Even though they don't have lessons, online lessons, school does start, and we are going to go ahead and start live class. So make sure that they're there. And then your iReady diagnostic is going to be proctored this year. So do not have your student start that on their own, because we may have to just reset it for them, and we would hate to do that to anybody. Okay, so please just hold off on the iReady. If you're a returning family and you understand what we're talking about, just wait until that Thursday and Friday of next week so that you can do that with your teacher. And of course, don't forget to have fun, because second grade is an amazing grade. We just absolutely love your students. We're so excited for Tuesday. Again, if you guys have any questions, please put that in the chat. We are welcome to answer those questions. Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay, so if you, first of all, thank you all for being here. We really appreciate it. I hope this has been helpful for you. And we are going to take some questions now if you have any. If you don't have any questions and you're good, you are free to go. And we thank you for being here. If you do have questions for us, we're going to hang for about 10 minutes and answer questions. So if you do have a question, you can just use the reaction feature and raise your hand, and we will be happy to answer those. All right. Yes, Eliana.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah, did you have a question?
I did.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I just went blank. If I have two students, I have a second grade and a third grade. My third grader has, my third grader has the laptop from the school. And then my second grader, he has a personal one. So I think it needs some updates. What if we're not able to download class successfully by Tuesday?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I can
So
jump.
do they have live lesson or live class at the same time?
That I'm not sure yet. I was looking to see what it looks like. They're close.
Okay.
If not the same time, they're very close. I'm going to have to check, because a few times during the school year, I did have them switch off and use the Connections Academy laptop, because it was more accessible to, like, especially Nearpod. On our personal, he couldn't ever get onto Nearpod. So
Okay.
a lot of times
So
I would have him use, I would have
Marcy, I can jump in.
yeah, if you have an answer, that would be awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. So if your personal computer has never been able to download something, you can still call our tech support, the school support number, that 800 number, because they still will be able to help out and maybe download it for you, or just work through the kinks and just offer you support one way or the other. They can absolutely help on personal computers as well. So I
Okay,
would
that's
highly
good to know.
recommend, yeah, I would highly recommend calling tomorrow. And another thing, when everybody calls tech, I would say call tech, our school support line, after 3 p.m. if you want a shorter amount of wait time, because we are on the West Coast and most East Coast, Midwest schools will be out at that time. You'll have a shorter wait time for that tech support. Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Thanks for that question. Yes, Sadie.
Hi, yes, I was just wondering if we are able to start on our lessons before the 11th. So if we wanted to get stuff started ahead of time, is that something we're allowed to do, or will lessons not be populated until the 11th?
Unfortunately, you won't be able to access them until the 11th. Now, once they're there, then it is okay to sometimes work ahead a little if you need to, but unfortunately right now, there's nothing we can do. They won't show up, or you won't be able to access them until the 11th. So sorry about that.
That's okay. Thank you for answering my question.
Of course. Thank you. Alyssa.
Hi. My
Hi.
question is regarding attendance. So, I'm working full-time and also a part-time student. So let's say there are days that they don't have like live class, but let's say we have to do homeworks in a later time. Is there like a time frame between where we can do the attendance or on that day?
So you mean as far as entering the
Yes,
attendance?
entering it to the system.
Oh, okay. You do want to enter it as quickly as you can. The longer you go and they're blank, then it's going to put you into escalation.
Gotcha.
So if it's like, one day you just don't get around to it and you enter it the next day, that's totally okay. You just don't want to have like several days go by where you're not entering the attendance in.
Okay, perfect. So like let's say if we start like in the morning, I can do that. Or the attendance, is it like after class or before class?
You can enter it anytime that day.
Okay.
Yeah, anytime that day is totally fine. As long as the student is doing educational activities that day, you can enter the P and you can put it in any time of the day.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. All right. I don't see any other hands right now. So I'll send it back to Denise to wrap it up for us.
We just wanted to thank you guys for taking a little time out of your day to meet with us and go over some of the exciting things for this school year. So we are counting the days until September 5th when we can see all your children back in our live classes. So enjoy your last few days this summer. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to your homeroom teacher, and we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for coming.